Welcome to episode 4 of the Just Pineapple podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Atrius, and I'm joined by a very special guest who's currently death staring into the camera, Mr. L. Rubano.
Eh,
How we doing?
oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a very fun episode. Um,
hmm
Sorry that your two teenage heartthrobs, Mr. Gabe and Harley, aren't here. It's just gonna be me hosting solo today with our very special guest. And it's just gonna be a little bit of a banter episode. We're gonna shoot the shit, but we do have some deep Ruben lore in the form of videos and some dramatic readings that we're gonna share with you later.
I'm very excited to invade the Pineapple Podcast. When I heard about this, I was excited for the both of you because it sounded like you were going somewhere, and I heard that I got a sniff of that, and I wanted to get in.
I mean, I can't blame you. We're taking Just Pineapple to the moon. We're
hmm
gonna begin selling some cryptocurrency, some NFTs. You know what I'm saying?
Hey yo,
You know,
can you give me some insider, some benefits? Can I get some of that pineapple coin?
oh, don't even you're gonna be a fucking early adopter, and we're gonna go to the moon. There's gonna be so many pictures
Boys.
of like monkeys
hmm
that are smoking blunts, and they're gonna be worth $2,000, and we're gonna sell them on the internet, and it's gonna be a grand fucking time.
So, do we have any like do we... No, never mind, never mind. I was going to ask. Yeah, we have like a special bit. Well, I guess the coins don't have like any like they're not like dollar bills where like a different amount of them has like a different picture on it. But if they did, I could see like Harley being a number $1 and I'm like I'm like
You're like
that
the $2 bill.
tw-
You're the very rare $2
I was
pineapple bill.
I was gonna suggest the $20 bill. Now
No,
you seem like a
that's like
twenty
Gabe.
dollar.
I'm probably the 5. I'm probably on the $5 bill.
I was gonna say $20 because everyone wants a $20. Like it's the minimum amount that you could get people to do stupid shit. Like
Do
if
you
you
have
say,
a lot of
Mhm.
practice giving people $20 to do stupid shit? Is that something you're very knowledgeable of?
well, the price goes up the older you get. Like if you're a kid, $1, fuck it, they'll do anything. If you're a teenager, $5 is pretty good. When you're an adult, you're not gonna waste your time on stupid shit. But a $20 bill, think about that. That's like in like rural parts of the nation, that's like twice the minimum wage. 2 hours in one bill. In like California, that's like one and a half. All right. Someone is promising you 1 hour of your labor, or twice potentially, in their hands for you to do this little thing in the moment. I'd say yeah to that.
What are you willing to do for a $20 bill?
Um,
Like would you like kick a small animal for a $20 bill?
without hesitation.
Okay.
For
Would
twenty
you
dollars,
like
I'll send that bitch into the stratosphere.
Is there anything you wouldn't do for a $20 bill though? Do you have limits?
I'm not sucking dick for $20. You need like at least 60, and I need to know you personally.
Oh, okay. This is a good segue because this is a classic question I
hmm
love to ask people, right?
Yeah.
Ask men. How much would it take for you to suck a dick? How much would you have to be paid?
It's not just about the money. The thing is that honestly, I feel like I'd have to know the person first, which for some people they wouldn't do that because they'd be like, "Oh no, I know that person." Now it's going to be awkward. But like last July, the previous 4th of July, um I got high and
Mm-hmm.
at the place that I was partying at, they were serving hot dogs like the big ones.
Big glizzies.
The big glizzies, yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to start deep throating one of them, and I thought that's not so bad.
You're a glizzy goblin.
I'm a glizzy gobbler. Look,
Glizzy
no
Gladiator.
homo, no homo. All right, I'm not gay.
Well,
I'm not gay.
of
But twenty
course.
dollars is $20.
Hey, you know what? That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So
Hmm.
you're saying you're trying to suck some pineapple boy dick, is what you're saying? Because you said you have to know them, and
Yeah,
you know the pineapple boys.
yeah, I know the pineapple boys.
So you would do that for about $20,
60, 60,
$60.
$60.
That's you know what? I'll give you this. That's the cheapest I've ever heard. You're giving out bargains just in time for Black Friday, man.
You know me, best deals.
Ruben is a certified money getter. He is a Sigma grind set rise and grind mindset to get that coin, get that
Remember,
cash.
if you're not a Sigma male, just become one. That's the Sigma grind set.
I mean, I yeah, it's that simple.
It's
It's
that
that
simple,
simple.
man.
So I
Hmm.
think now will be a good time to get into some deep Ruben lore. What do you think?
Fuck yeah, boys, let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. So sadly, we don't have this. We
Sponsored by Kirkland Water.
we might have to blur that out. You took a hearty sip of that. It didn't look like you enjoyed it very much though. What's wrong with that water?
Just bland water, you know.
What's like the best brand of water though?
The breast, the breast plant. The best brand of water, in my opinion, is like what's like that big chunker of water? It's got like the plastic painted in, and if you look at the other side, it's got like little goldfish on the inside.
Are you talking about like Fiji?
Not Fiji. Like it's called Uni something.
Let
I
me
don't know.
see. Uni water. Are these little waters you're talking about?
No, no. Just look up like brands of water bottles, and I'll point it out to you.
Second. We we we'll get to the deep Ruben lore, but this is definitely
This is more
a
important
question.
right now. This is more
Yeah,
important.
this is something we gotta answer. All right, here we go. Boom. Look at what we got here. We got Heinez. Can you see this?
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
We got Buxton,
Mhm.
Levisima, Pierre Water, how the fuck? Ericli? I don't know. Uh, that's like some weird European shit. I don't know how to say it. Vitel, Nestle. That's like some Saudi Arabian water right there. I don't even know what that's like.
Actually, hold up real quick. You say Pierre, the green one. I fucks with that.
You fucks with the Pierre.
Yeah, when I used to work with my dad, he'd have that shit like in the car, and it was warm as fuck. But like, I opened that up and I had like that hint of lemon. I'm like, God damn, I hate this, and I kept drinking.
Why did you keep drinking if it sucked?
Because it was interesting. The flavor was interesting, and I'm like, I gotta see this through.
So you're kind of like a water explorer.
I am a water explorer. You say
You
explorer, and my mind immediately jumps to like that quote from Hellraiser, "We are explorers of sensations." And I thought, is there like a water? No, no, there's not a water. What are they called? Cenobite?
well, like the monster?
Yeah, the monsters. What are they called? Cenobites?
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't like a straight up water one. I imagine that there has to be like a mineral water Cenobite. Because have you ever drank mineral water? That shit's angry. It enters your mouth and it's ready to fight.
I got to be honest, I've never taken part of mineral water before, I don't think.
Partaking of the mineral water.
No. Can you see we got a little like flask, but no water Cenobite. Nothing. So, I think we've come to the conclusion
Uh huh.
that Pierre is the best water brand. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that. Pierre offers quality.
That's good. That's good. Hopefully we can get some kind of sponsorship. We got to start making money off this.
Yeah, we need to start making our money. Pierre, if you want to send us big bucks,
Yeah,
you know,
we will sell our souls to the
it,
water industry.
it wouldn't be the first time.
Back to sorry for the sidetrack. Back to Ruben lore.
Ruben
Now,
lore.
now this first instance I'd like to talk about, sadly, does not have any footage. It's sort of like a Bigfoot style event.
Huh?
There's not even pictures. It's only old. This is like an old wives' tale.
This is a
You
myth.
know,
This
this
is
is a
the
this is a
legend.
Ruben myth. This Ruben moment was mentioned in the Jeopardy episode.
Uh huh.
Talk to me about the the ripping of the branch off the tree in freshman year of high school. Can you break that down for me and the audience?
Sometimes I think and wonder about death. I think about if you wake up one morning,
Wait, what does this have
is
to do?
yesterday is the person of yesterday dead? And sometimes I wonder, is the past real? Because you only have memories of it after the present. But right now, I can remember that very vividly as it just happened. Yeah, someone asked me, "Hey, I bet you can't grab that branch," and I said, "Fuck you, I can." So,
So
mm-hmm.
before hold on, let's establish, right? This was a sizable branch.
This was a sizable branch, longer than my dick, so like about 12 feet.
Well, I mean, that's obviously an impressive feat, being longer than the Reuben snake. That is always uh
Mm-hmm.
that's always a way to impress. But yeah, it was a quite a large branch,
Mm-hmm.
and there were many people around, and people were very scared because this was one of the first times I think in high school you displayed your power to the rest of the
I
rest of the group.
displayed my autism strength.
Oh yes, definitely. So break it down for me. What happened? Someone
What?
someone told you that you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it, and you said, "Fuck that! I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to prove them wrong right here, right now."
Yeah, I got on top of a bench, like squatted down and sprung forward, like maybe 6 feet into the air, and I like caught the branch. And then obviously I came down with the branch too. And I'm like, hey, look, I got the branch in my hand. So I started like, wiggling around, and I noticed, oh, it's giving way. And I'm like, it's gonna give way. So I just yanked it, ripped it out right out of its socket, hit the ground with like a fucking mushroom cloud of dust.
Like an atomic bomb, you came down.
Yeah, people were scared. They were running. They were running, man.
Well, yeah, that was a large branch. It was probably the
Mhm.
size of like a broadsword, you
Mhm.
know.
I would have used it as a broadsword too, but immediately like school SWAT came in and pointed their guns at me and told me to get the fuck down.
With their they rode in high on their golf carts to try to take you down.
These are some serious fucking golf carts. They were like steel plated, had spikes in the front, like bulldozers and shit.
A Mad Max style golf cart
Yeah, these were
rode
made for
in.
running over children.
Well, with the power you displayed, I can't really say I blame them
Yeah, one
because
one of them like ran straight into me and it like fucking split in half.
yeah, I mean you are a powerful threat, so I can understand their level of defense and terror they want to inspire in
Yeah.
those golf carts. Because when Ruben shows up, you are the chaos variable.
Do you ever wonder like how peaceful your life was before I came into contact with it?
Well, you know what? I'll say this: if this episode is successful,
Mhm.
there will be more chaos to be had down the
Oh,
line.
fuck
So it's
yeah.
just
Fuck
this.
yeah.
This is just the beginning. All right. This is just the beginning.
We gotta get Harley on. That's the thing. Harley, if you're watching this recording, you're a coward, all right?
Whoa.
I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out. He needs to be here. He needs to be here for the action.
Yeah, sorry, Harley. We're taking over your channel now. You're fucking done, buddy.
Yeah.
This is our domain, all right? You think just because you're white you can rule over us, all right? It's not happening like that anymore. We're fucking striking back. We're taking over the podcast. We're taking over the whole fucking channel. And if you don't like it, you can suck a fucking fat one, all right? This is
Whoa.
our domain now.
Whoa, you
I
didn't have
could
to make this a racial thing.
All right, well, guess what? I just did. So this is this is where we're taking it, all right?
Shit.
We're the new Canes of the Harley K channel. We're the Canes of the Pineapple, just Pineapple podcast. And guess what? Guess what? There's gonna be some motherfucking changes around here. Shit's gonna be run a lot differently now that we're in charge. All right. There's new fucking leadership in the building. So
All
act
right, all right.
accordingly, audience. While you're listening, make sure you drop a like. All right. I see you're watching the
Yeah,
videos. You're watching the videos. You're not dropping likes. Drop the
you
fucking
need
like
to drop
button.
likes. You need to show why we're better than Harley.
This
Gabe's
needs to be
alright.
the most This needs to be the most successful episode of the show. All right? Unless you want Harley to
Mm-hmm.
come back. All right? And we don't
Mm-hmm.
want no one wants that. We
No,
can't
no,
let that
no.
happen.
We fucking hate Harley. Fuck Harley.
You need to comment and tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. You need to share, you need to subscribe and hit the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, audience. How about for once you guys think of someone other than yourselves? Quit being so selfish. All right? What do you think of drugs?
Drugs?
Yeah. Let's talk about drugs.
Um. Well, for the longest time, like drugs were like a non-factor in my life. I just didn't. Here's the thing: they say that like, oh, say no to drugs and shit, but like, I've never been given like offered heroin or cocaine or some shit like that. They just like the only
Yeah,
thing
they
I've.
say
Mm-hmm.
They say, yeah, they say like, oh, say no to drugs. How many people? First of all, most motherfuckers don't want to give out their drugs for free
Mm-hmm.
in the first place. So this isn't really a situation people have to deal with. So this is kind of pretty fucking stupid advice if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
The only drugs I've ever been fucking offered is marijuana.
Yeah, and you took it, right?
Well, that we're gonna tell this
That's
story.
another piece of Ruben lore,
Yeah,
actually. Why don't
let's
we get
tell
into
this
that?
too.
Yeah.
So, it was the 4th of July, and uh, some of the lads. Actually, no, it was Harley, right? No, it was Tyler. Tyler invited us to his grandparents' house because they were away at the time, and I believe he was staying to take care of the dog, but also his aunt was there because their grandpa's house was like pretty fucking lit, pretty lit.
Yeah, it's got a pool. It's
Hmm.
out in the country, bro. Pretty
Oh
nice
yeah,
place.
it was wonderful. So I got a ride there from one of my other friends, and so we got there. We went into the pool. We had a good time fucking around. Chris was there. Uh, Har was Harley. I think Harley was there,
Yeah, he was there. He
and so.
showed up later.
Mhm. So we were all having a good time and shit. And then I come out, and these two girls come out. It was the aunt's like daughter and her friend.
Hmm.
And I shit you not, they just come out as like, "Who wants drugs?" And the Ruben mentality isn't to say no or to stay quiet. It's fuck yeah, I want some drugs. Yeah, you just looked them straight in the eye and said, "I want some fucking drugs," and they're like, "Okay, great." And I immediately like did double take. I'm like, "Oh fuck, they weren't kidding." Shit.
So, for the historical
Mm-hmm.
record, this all happened in Minecraft.
Um. Anyways, keeping on with the story. Keeping on with the story. Um. So I saw that it was just weed, and I'm like, of all the drugs I could do right now, because first of all, I didn't expect them to actually have drugs, and second, I would have said no, but they were pretty fucking cute. And so then I thought, fuck it. Fucking male brain thinks, yeah, this will impress them. It didn't. Um, so, so yeah, I smoked weed for the first time. I took like 6 hearty puffs. and
Ooh.
put it down, and I immediately looked at my friends, and I'm like, this ain't doing shit. And and Tyler had this evil laugh. He's like, he's like, just give it time, Ruben. Just give it time, Ruben.
How long did it take?
Fuck, must have been like 20 minutes, and it fucking hit.
Mhm.
The way that I described what happened was that like I was really calm and like slow in my movements, but I could
Mhm.
not think. The whole time I told myself, act normal, act normal. So I would act slow and deliberate, but because I couldn't think, I just kept forgetting things. And I think I struggled for like 3 minutes trying to make a hot dog.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I had to shovel like Lay's chips in my mouth because I couldn't pick them up. And I already said that I like deep throated a hot dog just because just because it was
So like
fun.
how big was this hot dog? Let's break this down a little bit. How big was the hot dog?
It wasn't a regular hot dog. It was where are the chain licked ones?
You mean like it was like a jumbo dog?
Yeah, it's jumbo dog.
Ooh. Now how deep did it get
I went
in your
past
throat?
not the urethra, the fucking uvula. I went past the uvula.
Damn. You really are you really are you are a glizzy guardian for real.
Quick, hide your glizzy in my mouth. I'll protect it.
Hi. Oh, the feds are coming for the glizzies. Quick, Ruben, put them in your mouth. We gotta hide 'em. They're coming for the glizzies. How long did your high last though?
Fuck, must have been like maybe hour, 45 minutes. It's pretty high, pretty high.
Would you do it again?
Uh, yeah, I'd do it again. The thing is that like, it's not an everyday thing for me. I prefer if it was just with the boys because I don't want it to become a regular part of my life. That's the thing. All right.
That's fair.
I mean, weed's like the least harmful out of all of them, but I just don't want to have it become like a normal part of my life. You know.
No,
Now
I get it.
Harley, if you got any, hook me up.
So you want to
Hmm.
do it like as like a sort of a hobby type thing, but
Yeah,
not regularly.
like a hobby, but I prefer if I had my friends around because if I'm just high by myself, that's just kind of boring.
No, that makes sense. So why do you not want it to be why do you not want to like do it regularly?
Um, First of all, I still live with my parents, and they're like Hispanic, so they don't approve of weed.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the second thing is like I'm already lazy. If I take weed, I'm probably just not gonna do shit in general.
That's a you know what? That's a fair concern. That is a
Hmm.
fair concern. Would you like to move on to the next segment of Ruben lore?
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go.
This video right here. Can you see this?
Full screen it for me, baby.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, let's go, let's go.
All right. So can you give a you know you probably know what this video is, right?
Oh yeah, I know. Play it for me, play it for me.
No, we need to give some context for what's happening here.
All right. So back in our high school, um, every was it every Friday or was it every now and again on Fridays?
It was like every other Friday usually.
So like every other Friday, um, I think before lunch we'd pack into the gymnasium and we'd have was it called Spirit Week or something? We'd have
Yeah.
fun games, announcements, and stuff like that in there. And me being me, I see a challenge and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go, boys, let's go.
Yeah,
Uh,
whenever there was a
mhm.
challenge, Ruben was always up to volunteer. He always wanted the smoke. He was never cowardly
And they
about that.
called me the fucking Californian because you don't want the smoke.
That's yeah. So this was one of the challenges, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess the breakdown is like people are like holding hands. People are holding each other's hands between their legs, and they need to like walk backwards and like sit down and then stand up and then have the back person walk forward. It's very strange and complicated. I don't know why they made
It's a
teenagers do this.
it's an it's a very child friendly version of the human centipede, but that wasn't child friendly in the first place. So I don't know why the fuck they're doing this.
Well, well, this stunt probably never happened again after what went down in this video with you participating. Are you ready to break this down?
I'm always.
Okay, that's good. So you can hear, I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear Harley getting himself excited. He's the one recording.
Mm-hmm.
That's you at the front, right?
Yeah, that has to be me at the front.
Okay, watch. Ruben's at the front of this strange
Me and
hand
the
human
me in the red
centipede.
jacket. That's the.
Yeah, that's Ruben in the red hoodie. And you have some other teenagers trying to direct. All right, here they go. He's moving. They're moving. They're moving smoothly. They're moving smoothly. Ruben's the last person to sit, and he falls. he falls directly. He falls directly on the face of the
Oh,
person.
oh, fuck! I did. Fuck!
Yeah, that's why
I didn't
you
feel
didn't
it.
see it.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
let's get to the fucking slow mo instant replay real quick. Let's turn down the speed. Let's turn down like
No.
0.5. Oh no, it needs to be right here. Ruben's moving. He's moving. Now watch this. This is like the NFL. We got to break it down. And he falls. You see that?
Oh! Oh! Fuck! Oh shit! I know that. I know that some guys are into that, but I haven't heard about women. Fuck. She's. Her cranium's gone.
Oh, that hat. First of all, I think that's a man with long hair, though.
Oh.
Don't make
Oh.
assumptions. Don't make assumptions.
Really? I thought it was a girl. I remember it was
It might have been a girl. I don't know. I thought it. I've always thought it was a dude, but suffice it to say, that's definitely a concussion. And you can see you like roll off his head. Oh my god, this is
the
a this is a brutal replay,
wasn't
folks.
he like admitted to the AR? His like head was like crushed like a watermelon.
You can, oh, you can see like you can almost see his skull like condense on itself just a little bit,
God.
just a little bit.
You know what was
I just love this.
the fucked up part was that like the whole crowd was just screaming for blood. Like they didn't think this shit was concerning. They were like, "Yeah."
Yeah, Harley actually cheered for you. Let's get that.
Yeah. Yeah, Harley, look. I'm sure that most of his like fan base are like female. I don't want to assume, but also like they think he's like a cute boy and all that. No, no, he's just as bloodthirsty as the rest of us. Why do you think our jerseys are red?
The crowd, the crowd wanted blood, and you gave it to them.
I gave it. That's why they love when I'm on.
I'll give you this. You know how to please a crowd, Ruben. You
Yeah.
give the people what they want.
Yeah, thankfully
Damn.
I dodged murder charges. They they ruled that since I was minor and also that it was the school conducting it that it was their fault.
Well, that guy with the hair survived.
Yeah.
He's up and he's okay, thankfully. Ah,
Yeah,
what an essence
they
to be.
performed like some necromancy on him real quick, you know?
Oh shit. Ah, that's a that's a good meme. That's a good meme.
Mhm.
You had some other uh rally adventures as well. You tell me the story of the broken stick.
The broken
The
stick.
myth of the broken stick.
You'll have to jog my memory on this.
It was where like you versus another guy were like you were sitting on the ground and like pulling the stick like against each other. and you had to go against like the biggest Chad jock of the school.
Oh yeah,
Do
I
y'all remember
remember
that?
about that. Yeah, so we held the stick parallel like this. All right?
Hmm.
And the goal was to pull it out of each other's hand, and I've studied ever since I hit puberty on the art of the death grips. And so that stick wasn't coming out of my hand. But that man was a fucking giant. He made Andre the Giant look like a midget. And his like when I saw him pull, his like skin went from smooth to like a fucking Himalayan mountain, just like his muscles bulging out.
He was chiseled like rocks.
Yeah. But no, I stood still. I dug in my heels. The fucking like wooden floor caved in underneath my pressure, and the stick, the stick was like passed down from generations. That shit was unbreakable. But that day, it snapped in half from the sheer force being exerted upon it. It actually exploded into millions of splinters. The fucking adults had to be sent to the doctor because I think one of them got in their eye. He had an eye patch. Yeah.
That is
Mhm.
that is the display of Ruben's sheer power.
Mhm.
You know, he has a power beyond the physical. You understand? It's a spiritual force that we're dealing with right now.
The tism.
You know, so be careful.
Minus like 10 charisma plus 500 strength. Um.
It's that simple. Also, it sucks we don't have the video because it's great because the
Mhm.
crowd goes when the moment the stick breaks, the crowd just like falls silent for a second, and it's beautiful because they can't believe it.
It
You
was such a
displayed
serene moment.
you displayed your entire power to the school. Like everyone was there, and they knew not to fuck with you ever.
Such a
You
serene
are.
moment. I wish I could go back to that.
And then what happened afterwards? Because
Um.
I believe they gave you a second stick
Yeah,
after that.
they,
After
they they had a second stick. I'm surprised that they they had a second in indestructible stick. That time I decided to go easy on the giant because he'd already been humiliated by my sheer prowess, so I decided to give him this and I let it go.
hmm
But he was pulling so hard that he like flew back and like knocked himself out. But he won. He won, so I'll give him that.
Ruben always showing his humility.
Compassion, humility for my weaker peers.
Would you like to move on to your Joker moment?
Who said that it ever stopped?
Halloween
Oh yeah, basically.
2019.
It had to be 2019. Yeah, baby, let's
That
go.
accursed road. That accursed road. Many know what's about to happen, but the audience may not. Here we go.
Excuse me!
Here he
Excuse
comes.
me, man! Excuse me! Excuse me! Can I have some coochie?
The thing is, I'm actually wearing the same jacket right now. Oh no. Okay. Uh
Oh boy. What do you you look so disappointed.
it I'm terrified.
Was this kind of like a fugue state moment for you? You didn't really you were kind of like possessed maybe. This is why you don't remember it.
No, this is when I decided to turn off the limiters.
How did it make you feel? Because they say that sometimes wearing a mask is how you reveal your true self. So how did donning the makeup, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I had permission to go all out, and I did.
You went as Joker said in the movie, you went werewolf.
I went werewolf. I was always like in a half state, but now I went full. The only part that was missing out of that costume though was the revolver.
Ruben is not a threat to anyone but himself and possibly the entire galaxy. But other than that, it's fine. All right. We got some deep Ruben lore, and you may be saying, "All right, this is, this is some interesting stuff. This is a little crazy. The branch,
Mm-hmm.
the fucking sitting on the face, the broken stick. This is but it's whatever. It's not that crazy."
It's par for the course.
Okay. All right, audience. You're saying you're calling us pussies? Okay. You want to get crazy? Let's get fucking loco. Here we go. You ready, Ruben?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to read from the tomb, the ancient tome of the lads,
Oh fuck.
the Lad Bible? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We have to tell the tale. We have to tell the tale
Wait, yo, what
of
is
the
this?
of the infamous Endgame trip.
Oh! Yes!
Can you see the text?
I could see the text, all right?
Okay. Now, I want to set the scene for all you out there.
All right.
It was May 2019 and the boys, we all wanted to see Avengers Endgame. We had
Yeah.
to go see it. I already watched it on a Chinese rip on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
but I was still willing to go see it with the boys. And to this day, I'm not sure if that was the correct decision given the shit that went down that fateful day. So I'm going to give you a dramatic reading of the the harrowing events that occurred that night. And I'm have Ruben give some of his input because he's probably my main antagonist in this little short story.
Fuck.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. All right.
I know you've been asking about this lad Bible
The
for
lad
a while.
I've been asking about the lad Bible. You said this like in sophomore year, I believe, maybe junior, and I've never let it go because I want to know. I want to understand.
Well, this is it. This is just a small piece of the lad Bible, but it may be our greatest story. We may even dedicate a whole episode to this, doing a Endgame trip reunion. Let's get into it. Keep in mind, I wrote this when I was 16, so if it sucks, don't get too mad. On a warm May day in 2019, the boys and I decided to see the new Avengers movie, Endgame. I walked up the stairs with tension and wonder, thrilled to finally make one of our friend group's dreams a reality. But of course, things could never be that simple. Entering my seat, I put the first bag of popcorn on the cushion, right to my right thigh. As I went to place the second bag on the table, disaster struck. It was a blur. I was uncertain how it happened then, and I'm even more uncertain of how it happened now as I write this. All I know is, 1 second the popcorn was safely resting on the table, excitedly watching my hand reach towards it, prepared to be delivered to Bryce. Then the next second, that same bag was turned over, releasing a waterfall of buttered carbohydrates on the floor beneath me. I recovered the bag quickly, but the damage had already been done. At least a third of the snack, likely more, was silently laying on the ground like Gamora in the previous Avengers film. The couple to our left laughed, and Harley said my name in the tone of a mother who just discovered her 4-year-old son had defecated on himself. Billy? Atrius? After saving the rest of the popcorn, my face grew redder than Mars out of pure shame as I held it in my hands. Harley tried to reassure me that it wasn't a big deal, to no avail. I sat up and wiped sweat cold enough to make the sun shiver off my brow and passed Bryce the unmolested bag without turning my head. Frozen in cringe and self hatred, I stared at the screen without moving or breathing for at least 12 minutes, praying to every higher power I could recall that President Xi decided this very second to begin World War III by nuking that Lodi Cinema 12. Every second that passed was less painful than the previous, as the popcorn incident was growing smaller in the rearview mirror of my life, but the scars remain to this day. Even writing all this out has taken an unironic toll on my self esteem. A reader with a sunny disposition will come to this point in the story and say, "Well, it can't get any worse, Atrius." I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it can get worse, and it did. First paragraph.
I,
Already some problems.
mm-hmm.
The tone has been set. That shit is Shit's going back. That was a bad way to start a movie trip, man. Spilling the fucking popcorn, which Chekhov's gun. We'll get back to. We'll get back to.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any thoughts, or should I just keep going?
I know exactly what's coming up. And um I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it when it happens.
Things were going relatively smoothly up until the Black Widow and Hawkeye landed on the planet housing the Soul Stone, Vormir. It was at this point that Bryce realized that he needed to relieve himself, and instead of simply getting up and heading to the restroom to do so, he decided to ask me if he should in the middle of a pivotal dialogue scene. Knowing that a death scene was about to occur, because remember, I already watched it before, I advised him to hold it and wait for the scene to finish, so not to ruin the moment for the rest of the group and the audience. He agreed and turned back towards the screen. I thought all was well and did the same for about 45 seconds, until Bryce reiterated his desire to let his floodgates open. Once again, I told him to wait until the scene completed, and once again, he agreed and turned back to the screen. Nietzsche was smiling in his grave that day because me and Bryce proved that time is indeed a flat circle by repeating this cycle over 3 times in less than 3 minutes. Eventually, I surrendered and allowed Bryce to get up and head to the restroom to drain his snake. While Hawkeye and Black Widow realized what had to be done to acquire the Soul Stone, Bryce was shuffling past myself, Harley, and the couple to go downstairs. I went to grab a bit of popcorn, but was rudely interrupted by the sound of Bryce stomping down the stairway at breakneck pace. He descended the stairs with the force of the Incredible Hulk and the speed of Quicksilver on half a pill of Adderall. The sheer volume of the steps is what sticks out to me to this day. It sounded as if General Eisenhower had been resurrected and decided to conduct a bombing run on that cinema. Or like each step had an IED laced with dynamite resting on it, and Bryce triggered every single one. When he entered the hallway, I was embarrassed but hopeful, naively thinking that things couldn't get worse. They did. You may be noticing a trend. Here we go. Here we go.
The moment of truth.
Your moment. With Bryce gone from his seat, Ruben became blessed with the ability to feast his eyes upon the wonderful mess I had made on the ground. He looked towards the floor before me and sighed at the sight of the sleeping popcorn. As Black Widow and Hawkeye were battling each other for the right to sacrifice themselves to save the universe, Ruben was so stunned by my work of art resting on the floor that he exclaimed like a scolding mother to her rambunctious children.
Who the fuck spilled the popcorn?
In response, I sheepishly raised my hand as Harley and I were failing to hold in our laughter. What happened next can only be described as an act of God. Not even 4 seconds after his exclamation, Ruben appeared to enter into a fight with his own body, jerking his torso back and forth and simultaneously kicking his left leg out in a single synchronized motion while holding his thigh with both hands. The optimist would say that it was some kind of mating dance for whatever alien species Ruben is. I would say that it looked as if his leg became self-aware and was actively trying to remove itself from his body. As Ruben was having his seizure, I turned my head 90 degrees left to Harley. His eyes were glued to Ruben, and his face was a perfect three-way balance of amused, confused, and terrified. Without taking his eyes off Rubano, he nervously asked, "Should we do something?" In my infinite wisdom and brilliance, I replied, "I don't know." Now, what was that dance? What was I'm still not sure. What was the dance? Can you tell me? What was it?
The dance?
What was that weird motion that started to
Motherfucker,
happen?
I had a cramp.
It didn't look like a cramp. It
I had
looked
a cramp.
like
I had a look. Whenever I'm being the me at the middle of the night, sometimes because of the way my legs are positioned, I experience a cramp like mid nut. And do you think that would make it better? No, it doesn't, motherfucker. It's horrible.
after about 25 seconds of alternating my sights between the terrified Harley, the malfunctioning Ruben, and the mediocre fight scene, my attention suddenly went towards the entrance of the room. It sounded as if General Eisenhower's bombardment had returned to the Cineplex. Sadly, no fiery destruction came for us that day. It was merely the sound of Bryce and his newly emptied bladder rushing up the stairs to his seat at the cost of any tension and anxiety the audience was feeling. As I turned my head away in embarrassment, I saw that Ruben was back to normal, watching Hawkeye wake up in the Soul Stone, munching on popcorn as if nothing had happened. As Bryce went past us to return to his chair, I sent Ruben the obligatory, "Yo, you good?" He responded, "Cramps. It happens sometimes," and turned his head back to the screen. I looked to Harley. He simply shrugged and turned his eyes to the screen as well. As the Incredible Hulk was throwing a public park bench into the sky in Natasha Romanoff's honor, I was silently reflecting on the most absurd 90 seconds of my entire life, which had begun 91 seconds prior. Before you even think, yes, it can, and yes, it did.
No questions asked. Just the certainty that death approaches, that it can get worse. There's actually a meme for this.
Hey, friend, listen. I know the world is scary right now, but it's gonna get way worse.
That
That's a
was
very, very exemplary meme
that was you
for
in the
this
cinema.
situation. Oh, definitely. It got well. This was me looking back, right? Because
Oh, right. So then it's me telling you that in the cinema.
sure, yeah, because like where is it? Here we go. I I was just kind of letting the chaos overpower me at this point, you know.
Mm,
'Cause I really didn't know what to do. I was just trying to. It's kind of like being out on a sinking ship a little bit, or like a ship, not a sinking ship, but like a ship that's in chaotic waters. You're just trying to like hold on for dear life, you know, and keep yourself above board.
yeah.
After the seizure, we had entered another calm in the storm. The boys and I stayed pretty much silent up until the climax of the film. The final confrontation between Thanos and the three Avengers that the audience actually cares about, Thor, Cap, and Stark. The audience was left speechless at the thrilling battle between the Mad Titan and the trio of superheroes. In fact, the only audience member making any noise was the one directly to my left, Harley. He squealed like a girl at the not obvious and predictable return of Spider Man and his cash cow brethren. And he released a smug scoff at the heavy handed girl power scene and audibly gasped once Iron Man wielded the six Infinity Stones. Now, I'd like to take this off into a tangent about that moment. I should have
Mm-hmm.
written about it more.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny. Do you remember the scene in Endgame where it's like the launch shot of all the female superheroes?
Oh yeah, no. I saw that and I immediately knew what it fucking was, and I hated it.
Well, yeah, it is very heavy-handed, but I just love Harley likes to think of himself as a feminist and all that shit. But when he was watching the movie, he like fucking squealed out a "What the fuck" from the audience. So
I
that was Harley. Harley does not get away scot free. He contributed to the madness. He squealed like a girl at the not obvious and predictable return of Spider-Man and his cash cow brethren. And he released a smug scoff at the heavy-handed girl power scene and audibly gasped once Iron Man wielded the six Infinity Stones. This was a moment a decade in the making. Tony Stark, the genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, a character that started the series as a glorified frat boy with an unlimited amount of capital to fund what pet project he put his mind to. However, through a gauntlet of trials and tribulations over 7 films, he has grown more mature and ready to do something Captain America said he could never do: make the sacrifice play. Stark knows that doing so would rob him of his chance to raise his daughter, but he's prepared to do it anyway because it's the selfless thing to do. The Tony of Iron Man 1 would have simply stayed put at his ranch and not helped the rest of the gang, but that would have been the reason, or because that would have been the reasonable yet selfish option. But the Tony of Endgame is ready to lay down his life simply because it's the right thing to do. I've made my share of criticisms of the writing in MCU films. However, it is undeniable that this ending for Iron Man is a perfect way to send off his character and complete his arc. And here's how we fucked it up. As the pure energy from the Infinity Stones was raging through Iron Man's suit, out of the corner of my eye, I see Ruben rise from his seat and head to the left towards me and the stairs. I assumed Rubano needed to use the restroom, and I was simply going to ask him to wait until the most pivotal scene in franchise history was finished. I was wrong. Completely and utterly wrong. Once he got in front of me, I stopped him by grabbing his arm and saying, "This is a really bad time." What I saw next would haunt me for the rest of my days. In the shadows of the showroom, I couldn't see Ruben's face until that moment when he was right in front of me. He turned his head and revealed a devilish, dastardly, downright diabolical grin. Ruben held a face that would make hell freeze, a face to give the Grinch a run for his money, a face that could send a shiver down the spine of Yahweh himself. In
I
that
know.
moment, like the Emperor from Star Wars, Ruben was the embodiment of pure evil and loving every second of it. The Palpatine vibes were punctuated by his response. With venom dripping from his tongue, Ruben simply said,
I know.
and continued to the stairs. I would have tried to stop him, but I was paralyzed by his poisoned spit. It was as if I had entered slow motion. I knew what was about to happen, but I was powerless to stop it. Stark was able to withstand the cosmic burst of energy flowing through him and look the Mad Titan dead in the eyes. And I, Ruben skirted past Harley, am. This is a moment 10 years in the making, a moment that will go down in cinema history. Millions of people will remember where they were and who they were with when they saw this, but only a select few were cursed enough to be here in that cinema to see all of that buildup crumble to dust. Iron Man. The sound of a neckbeard repeatedly slamming his knuckleless fist on his desk. Operation Rolling Thunder in the jungles of Vietnam. A Swedish black metal band practicing under the cold moonlight in the forests of Oslo. All of these pale in comparison to the atomic might with which Ruben stomped down those stairs. Somehow, it was even louder than Bryce's unholy march. It sounded like an ice giant sprinting for his life. It sounded like Zach Hill grew to the size of Galactus and began using his unceasing machine gun fire style of percussion on solar systems instead of drum sets. It sounded like mutually assured nuclear destruction. The most iconic moment of modern movies, ruined by a single entity, the embodiment of mayhem, the brainer of bedlam, the walking chaos variable, El Rubano. Why, man? Why?
I saw an opportunity. I saw an opportunity for despair, for sadness and destruction, and I took it
How could you do that to people?
as easily as I breathe.
I have to, sorry, I have to recall an image. I have to recall it, not recall. I think of an image of a man who, you know, he works a dead end job. He doesn't really have a lot of prospects, but
Mhm.
seeing Avengers Endgame on a Wednesday afternoon is going to be the highlight of his year. He's a big fan of the Marvel movies. I just imagine this man, this sad, sad man, who the only thing he can look forward to is, man, I'm going to see the new Avengers in a couple months. I'm going to see the new Avengers in a couple weeks. I'm going to see the new Avengers on Wednesday. And he goes to see it. And the one thing he's been looking forward to in his miserable life just gets fucking ruined by our nonsense. I just cannot get that image out of my head, Ruben. Shockingly, the rest of the show went on without much trouble. Rubano returned from the bathroom without ordeal, and we somehow finally finished the movie. Of course, we couldn't finish it without ruining it for the rest of the people who dared to go see this particular movie at this particular theater on this particular Wednesday afternoon. The rest of the lads and I jeered and joked at our shenanigans as we exited the showroom. Despite the destruction, we left the building in high spirits, like Roger Sherman leaving the scalding ashes of what was once Atlanta after the Civil War had concluded. Or like pigeons who declared themselves the victors of chess games after throwing the pieces, shitting on the board, and flipping it the fuck over. And I think that's a good analogy for not only this momentous event, but I think that type of energy is a good analogy for you as a person. What do you think?
I, as a friend, I choose to believe that I am that spare tire that you have in the back. It doesn't look the best. It's pretty old, but it does the job. Get to the supermarket. As an entity, I choose to believe that the apocalypse is a little ways away. The Mayans were a bit off by some years. But don't worry, I'm keeping time.
And I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you for joining us on this very special interview episode, episode 4 of the Pineapple Just Pineapple podcast. We'll see you all next week.
See ya.